Okay, the purpose of this video is to explain how to find values that are not in the domain of a function that's formed by dividing two functions. And you'll see this in the Alex topic on quotients of two functions. I just wanted to cover a specific example so you could see how this works. So I'm given two functions here, f of x and g of x, and I'm asked to find all values that are not in the domain of f divided by g of x. So the first thing I'm going to do is write f divided by g of x. And remember, that means the same thing as f of x divided by g of x, which means I would take f of x, which is x squared plus 3x minus 5, and divide it by g of x, which is 2x plus 9. Now, the question that asks about values that are not in the domain, if you remember, domain are possible x values that work. So what we have here is a fraction. And if you remember, the thing that is illegal when you are dividing is to divide by 0. So when you're looking for numbers that are not in the domain, numbers that make the denominator equal to 0, are not in the domain. So 2x plus 9, which is the denominator of that fraction, cannot equal 0 because that means we would be dividing by 0, and that's mathematically illegal. So what you do then is you take that denominator, set it not equal to 0, and then solve for x. So here, the domain would not include negative 9/2. Now, we're going to learn about this later on. That's called an excluded value. And you exclude it because it makes the function undefined. It's not in the domain. That's what those questions are asking. So essentially, anytime you're given a division of two functions, you might have places where the domain is now undefined because it's possible to divide by 0. To find those places where it's undefined, you find where the denominator equals 0, and that's the place where it cannot be in the domain.